Who first told you to cover up? What if the truth is being bare in nature isn't shameful at all? It's healing, it reconnects you to your body and to the natural world. Welcome back to Hiking Without a Stitch. Get naked, be free, and be kind. I'll share my journey into naturism, stories from the trail, and conversations with others who have found freedom in the open air. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Hiking Without a Stitch. I'm John, your host, and today's episode's a cool one. I'm sitting down with Andrew, a local hiker from the Phoenix area, and he's got a really cool story about how he got into nude hiking and really non-sexual nudity. But before we jump in, I do want to quickly clarify something. I mentioned during this episode at one point I referenced game cameras and hunter game cameras. I misspoke there. Hunters are not allowed to use game cameras in the state of Arizona for the purpose of hunting. So if you do come across a game camera out in the wild, it's much more likely that it's going to be used by like wildlife photographers, researchers, or fish and game officials. So not actual hunters actively hunting. I just wanted to clear that up so everyone has the right information. Now, in this conversation, Andrew shares his journey from the first bold moments of jumping into a pool naked to getting out on the trails and fully embracing the experience of being in nature without clothes. We talk about what that shift looked like for him mentally, physically, and emotionally, and how it's helped him build more self-acceptance and confidence in his own body. We also get into some really practical stuff too, like tips for staying safe while hiking nude and how to navigate being out in public spaces. If you've ever been curious about what nude hiking or just looking to feel more comfortable in your own skin, this episode is going to give you a real honest look at what that journey can look like. So let's get into it. How's it going, Andrew? Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Can you tell listeners a little bit about yourself and kind of where you're calling from today?
Yeah, I am in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. It's pretty hot today, but it's like that. It just kind of happens
Yeah.
this part of the year. So from now until October, it will just remain hot. But yeah, um, really lovely place. If you haven't ever been to it, there's a lot more than just sand and cactus here. A lot of people think there's just barren wasteland everywhere, and yeah, we do have a little bit of that here, but it's really beautiful at the same time.
It's a cool space. It's a cool state. I mean, when I first moved down here, I thought that I was moving to Death Valley, and then I got down here and realized how green and alive the desert is. So I am
Yeah,
right there in that group too. Um, so I've been like really looking forward to speaking with you because your story is a little bit different. In the way that you got into non-sexual nudity. Can you walk me through how you first encountered non-sexual nudity and got into it?
yeah. It's actually a really hilarious and funny story. Um, I had just recently moved to Phoenix, and I was at a friend's house. We had a bunch of people over. This was a good 15 years ago, probably 15, 16 years ago. Um, we had a bunch of people at the house. We had a very spacious backyard with a really nice pool, and we had room to have a lot of people over. And when you first move to a new place, like one of the first things that you want to do is network and find some new people.
Yep.
So I met up with this particular person, and we became very, very good friends, and we still are to this day. And he said, "Hey, I'm having a party. Like, bring some drinks over. Let's hang out." And so I did, and went over to the house, and they were playing beer pong, which, if you think back 15 years,
Yeah.
that was a very popular activity 15 years ago. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to do it now. Um, but yeah, 15 years ago, I was ready for it, and there was this really attractive girl that I had to play against, and so she was on my side of the table, and I told her that if we lost, I would jump in the pool naked, thinking I wasn't going to lose.
Oh, that's
And
hysterical.
sure enough, we ended up losing, not intentionally, but we did end up losing. And she thought it was really funny to hold me to that particular sentiment.
That's
And
funny.
uh, yeah, and at the time, the pool at this house had not been cleaned in probably 6 months.
No.
So it looked straight up like an alligator farm. Like
Yeah, probably just
it
green and
may have had
nasty.
tadpoles in it. I'm not sure. So that was the really scary part of the bet, was that I was going to jump into this nasty green pool.
So
Well,
it wasn't the naked part. It was that
it
the
wasn't
pool
the
was
naked
nasty.
part that bothered me. No, I was really interested in this girl, and we had talked a few times before this, and my friend had mentioned that she was going to be there, so obviously I had to make sure I was there. And rumor had it at the time that she also had a little bit of interest in me, but she didn't want to lead that on. So
Gotcha.
so I,
Gotcha.
I figured a way to make myself a little bit more memorable was to put something on the table that would kind of separate me from the crowd, so to speak.
You did
And
it.
yeah, I did, you know. We ended up losing, and as she was holding me to it, and bless her heart for it. So as I was getting ready to get my clothes off and jump in the pool, she decided to get naked with me, and we both jumped in the pool
Oh, that's
holding
funny.
hands at the same time.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and yeah, it was an experience. I don't think I would jump into a green pool again, especially not that one. But the really fun part of that story is that that girl and I have now been married for 14 years.
Dude, congratulations. That's awesome. What a story too. Um were you like before that point, did you ever do anything like that before, or was this kind of like the
No,
very first
no,
um okay. Were you
never had done anything like that ever before.
interesting. So just spur of the moment. What made you feel like, oh, I'm going to do this, and like were you uncomfortable at all, or just
Very. I
you were very
was.
uncomfortable?
Very
Okay.
uncomfortable. Yep, there was a lot of people there that I didn't know all that well, so I didn't quite have a really good comfort level with people at least at that level anyway.
Yeah.
But a bet's a bet. I had to show this girl that I was a man of my word,
There you
and
go.
that was more important to me than my personal level of uncomfortability.
Gotcha. So from that moment, jumping in the nasty pool, how did you eventually turn that moment into going on your first nude hike? Like, what led you to that point?
Probably, let's see, what year is it now? Probably 6 years ago or so. Um, I came to a nominal birthday. I won't say which one, but it is a nominal birthday that a lot of people recognize. And we have our own pool at our house, and had come to a point with that specific birthday where I really I had decided to just kind of accept the way that I looked,
Hmm.
and the way that my physique is structured. And I hadn't really come to terms with that before
Mm-hmm.
then. So that was just kind of something I was like, oh, I'm this many years old now. Like, it doesn't get better from here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just kind of I took my pride and I swallowed it a little bit. And you know, living here, we can go hiking a lot more of the year than a lot of other places.
Mm-hmm.
So so with that birthday, I I just kind of accepted myself. I just said, I don't necessarily have to be, ashamed of myself or anything, but I'm this age and I should have accepted myself by now.
Mm-hmm.
So I just consciously made the choice to do that. And it really changed my outlook on a lot of things. So
Interesting.
it was a yeah, it was a really important time for me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I went out one day. I went to a trail that was not very difficult to get to. It's actually really easy. Um, and I went out like, I don't know, half a mile or so, and I was the only car in the parking lot, and just thought to myself, you know what? No one else is around. I could give this a shot.
Yeah,
And I did.
that's awesome. The if you said something just a second ago, I want to bounce back to before we continue on to your hiking story. You said that it helped you. I should have just written it down. You you came to terms with how you look and that it helped you kind of move through that period. What were some of like the limiting beliefs or things that were going on internally that you had to grapple with and come to terms with? Well, this is who I am and what I look like, and it is what it is.
Yeah, it's human nature to put yourself onto a comparison pedestal
Hmm.
to ideal body types, shapes, things like that. You want to remain an attractive person for your partner.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes life and cheesecake gets in the way of those things. Uh,
Amen.
you know, um, and at that particular time, I had I had to buy a new swimsuit. I had gone on a business trip and they had a hot tub, and I completely forgot to bring a swimsuit. So I went to the local Ross Dress for Less. If you have those in your area, you know what I mean. Uh, Went to the local Ross. I found a pair of shorts that I thought would fit. I tried them on in the fitting room, and I realized that I was no longer a medium,
Mm,
now a large. And for a person of my size, I'm only about 5'7". So for a person of my size, wearing large uh swim trunks was just kind
mm-hmm.
of like, oh, I'm there.
Mm, gotcha.
So yeah, and that was just kind of where I was like, oh, I should probably do something about that. But at the same time, I can accept myself for I'm not going to get any taller.
Yeah,
I'm not going to become a super, uh, you know, chiseled, ripped, Greek god or anything like that. Like
yeah,
I'm just a dude that has reached a particular age, and yeah, so
yep.
so
This
that
is
was
what
kind of
real
the
life looks
beginning.
like.
Yeah, yeah, it was just kind of like a here's where you are moment,
Yeah.
but it was a really good one.
Oh, that's awesome. So you confronted those feelings that were going on inside you and you decided, you know what, I'm going to go hike. So you went about a mile and a half down this trail and kind of specifically walk me through that. Were you nervous of getting caught or in trouble or anything like that when you first went out there?
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Any person that has ever gone on their first nude hike or taken their clothes off in some place they wouldn't normally
Mm-hmm.
immediately has that thought. Like,
Yeah.
I know I'm the only car in the parking lot. I'm the only person here, but there's probably 50 people that are going to spring up from behind a cactus and I'm going to get in trouble for this. Like that
Yep.
was my first thought, you know?
Yep. How long did
And
it
it's
take you to stop looking around, like
uh
over your
and
shoulder?
to this day I still don't stop doing that. It's just a thing, you know.
Yep.
We have we have some particular standards to which people get held for certain things in our society,
Mm-hmm.
and men are held to a different standard, understandably, in regards to uh, states of undress versus women.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it. I get it. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but there is men are held to a different level of that kind of how do I say it? Looking down your nose through the glasses. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's probably a good way to say it. Whereas if you encountered an undressed woman on a hiking trail, not many people would think much of it. They would just be like, "Oh, she's feeling great about herself." But
Yeah.
you come across an undressed man, and it's like, "Oh, he's a weirdo. Well, look at this creep,"
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know?
And they make it, I say people make it, with naked men, rightfully so, but they make it predatory in the way, oh, well, he's out here hiking. He must
There
be
we
doing
go.
something creepy. Whereas a
Right.
woman, it's like, oh, well, she's having fun. She's just free spirited. Um,
Yeah,
and that's not all the
exactly.
time, but that's definitely the vibe.
Right.
When you're out.
And like I said, I understand it. I understand that there are a very, very small percentage of people that have just kind of ruined
Mm-hmm.
that image, or that availability for people. But, at the same time, like, kind of have to give people a little bit of a chance too.
Yeah. To show that they're actually doing something incorrect or wrong.
Right. Right. Their intentions are not, ill
Yeah.
by any.
Yep. Um, when you go out hiking, you actually get out quite a bit, from your
Try to.
posts.
I try to.
Um, do you do scouting for those locations, like on like Google Earth or anything like that, or is this kind of
Yeah.
like trails and you're going and kind of jumping off of trails to your areas?
Yep. I absolutely do. I try to I try to find places that are not super easy to get to all the time, or places that have really small parking lots.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I know smaller the parking lot, the less people.
Yep.
Um, the farther away from a freeway, the less likely it is that someone else might be there. I try to find places that are a little bit out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a lot of the places that I go, it's researched first.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do I when I go out, I'll research, and then sometimes if I'm really unfamiliar with the area, I'll go out and hike it clothed first and then be like, okay, well, this is a solid spot. I'm going to come back here. Do
Definitely.
you just hit it and
Yep.
strip off?
Nope. I do it the same way you do.
Okay.
Um, there's nothing there's nothing more scary than being in a place that you're unfamiliar with and not really knowing where you are, or how to get back to your car, or
Mm-hmm.
the trail, or whatever it is. So yeah, I'll definitely go to that place first and walk it a couple times and kind of familiarize myself with where I am on a trail,
Yeah.
um before I really kind of try to get free with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that I think about too when I go out is I like walking it clothed beforehand just to make sure that there's no like game agency trail cameras or hunter cameras.
That
You know,
too.
I yesterday I went hiking down into this canyon, and it was like I hadn't been there before, so I kind of walked down naked and then put my sarong on and walked down into the woods. But it was like you could tell people went down there and hunted. So I
Yeah.
was I was keeping my eyes open for cameras yesterday.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, and again, it kind of goes back to, if the trail cameras caught, a woman doing that, no one
Yeah,
would think much about it. But you or me doing that, and it's all of a sudden it's a different story.
yeah, yeah. Um, which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate that
It
a
is.
couple shitty people ruin it for people that are just genuine trying to be out there and
Yeah.
enjoying stuff. Um,
Yeah.
do you? have like do you take a backpack or gear, and has that evolved over
Oh,
your course of hiking?
yeah. I usually have my camera bag. I got um, a nice Canon DSLR
Oh, nice.
that I use for just various desert scape photos. I've really gotten into photography in the last year or so, or last couple years actually. I finally bought a nice camera last year.
Awesome.
But one of my favorite things to do is to get out during sunrise hours and try to get some really great, sunrise pictures. If you've never seen an Arizona sunrise or an Arizona sunset, they are just breathtaking every single day.
Nothing
They're
like
always a
them.
little bit different. The scenery here provides so many options for just really, really beautiful photography, and the landscape here is it's unlike anywhere else in the world. So a lot of my family does not live here. They live in other places. So one of my favorite things to do is to get out and get pictures throughout the year. And I make a landscape calendar
Oh,
without
nice.
me on it. I should clarify. I make a landscape calendar for everybody. And that's my Christmas gift to all of my family members every year in December.
Oh, very
So
cool.
I take one or more really good pictures from every month of the year, and that's what I make the calendar out of.
Awesome.
So January is full of January photos, and February is full of February photos, and so they can kind of see what we see throughout the year. No, not a lot of people really use paper calendars anymore, but
Right.
all of my family members are also at the age where they don't need stuff anymore.
Yep.
So just something they can hang on the wall and toss out at the end of the year is perfect.
Oh, I love that idea.
It's been really fun. It's been really fun.
Do
Uh,
you also do like nude photography? Have you dabbled in taking pictures of like just like a naturist or nude people out on the landscape too?
yeah, I really want to. I'd really like to have that opportunity. Landscapes are really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've used my really nice camera enough to really be familiar with it now, and I know what it can do. Versus if you had asked me that question a year ago, I'd be like, no, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I have a much better sense of what I'm doing with this equipment now. So yeah, that's definitely something I would like to do, and I would definitely be open to, whether it's singles, couples, whoever. Yeah, it's something I would like to kind of expand upon.
Oh, that's awesome. I may take you up on that someday.
Awesome.
Go
Yeah,
on
man.
like a badass hike.
Other stuff that I bring with me. Yeah, I do bring a little drawstring backpack, and that's just to keep my keys and my wallet and sunscreen and just stuff, just
Mm-hmm.
small stuff with me. But it's usually that and my camera bag and I always carry two tripods, one for cell phone and one for good camera.
Nice. That's awesome. Um, when you're out, are you moving the whole time? Or are you stopping a lot and taking pictures and kind of poking around and exploring? I'm
Oh,
just
I
like
stop
totally
a lot.
curious. Yeah.
Yeah, I stop a lot. You never know when you're just gonna turn your head to the right or turn your head to the left, and you're like, oh, that's a picture.
Yep.
Like, you just never know, and sometimes walking 10 feet in one direction changes the whole look of the entire picture. So,
Yep.
yeah,
That is so true.
sometimes I can spot stuff from really far away too, where I'm like, oh, that actually would be really good. Let me get my long telephoto lens for that and see if I can frame this whole thing. And
Oh, that's
my
awesome.
dad was a photographer for a long time, so he's actually been really excited to get just random pictures from me of hikes that I've taken, and he always looks forward to these calendars now every year too because he sees his son who never took an interest in photography in the
Mm-hmm.
previous many years of his life and now is all of a sudden interested in it, and yeah, I think he gets kind of proud of that. So
Oh, that's so cool, man.
yeah, that's super neat.
That's awesome. Um, with regards to your like naked adventures, does your family know about that? Like, have you talked to your
No,
dad
not
about that?
really.
Okay.
No, that's it's just kind of a me thing.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
It's a me thing. I don't think they would frown upon it
Hmm.
necessarily, but at the same time,
Yeah.
they kind of might be like, okay, all right, I
Yeah.
guess. I
Yep.
don't think they would get it.
Yeah. I have a couple family members like that. Have you had any negative experiences like while you're out on the trail, or any moments
I
where
have
you've
not.
accidentally been caught? You have not.
No, I
Oh,
have not.
that's awesome.
I actually had one occasion where I almost got caught, and it was on a trail I like to go to frequently. It's really great for sunrises and stuff. And it was one of the first few times I had actually really gotten out and gotten real free with it, and I was coming up part of a an incline, and this mountain biker just came out of nowhere. He was hauling ass, and by the time I saw him, I just jumped to the right and like hid behind a bush. It didn't provide a lot of cover, but it was all I had. And as he went whizzing past me at full tilt, he goes, "Hey, it's a nice day. Have a great day." He just kept going. So I was like, "All right, well, that I can deal with that."
Yeah. He seems chill.
Yep, yep. But it's not a trail that a lot of people go to a lot.
Hmm.
It is frequented by mountain bikers, I have discovered over the past couple of years, but um, for the most part, it's pretty open. You can kind of wander off the trail quite a ways and still kind of know where the trail is, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's pretty great. It's one of my favorite spots.
That's super cool. Have you done any like naked night hiking on full moons?
I have not. The only night hike I ever took was in Hawaii, and it was at Manoa Falls.
Manoa
If you,
Falls.
if you've seen pictures of it, it's the really, really tall waterfall with a big pond at the bottom of it. If you look it up on Google, you'll see what I mean. But
Okay.
um, wife and I went out there 2021 for our 9-year wedding anniversary,
Nice.
and we met up with some locals at the beach. And we told them, we were, hanging out here for the week, and some of the plans that we had, it included Manoa Falls, and they're like, wait, don't go yet, go on Wednesday. And we were like, why Wednesday? And they're like, it's going to be a full moon.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and we were like, well, we can't get out there at night like that. We don't have a car. All we have is these mopeds that we rented. And by the way, if you've never rented mopeds in Hawaii, very worth it. Um, so they offered to come back to the beach that Wednesday night, and they came and picked us up. They took us out to Manoa Falls, and we hiked all the way to Manoa Falls under a full moon, and it was absolutely incredible. They brought food and drinks, and we all just kind of sat on a blanket, and we splashed in the water under a full moon, and we ate snacks, and we talked about all kinds of stuff, and they gave us a ride back to their hotel. We could not have paid money for that experience. It was unreal.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
It was unreal.
Oh man, I love that. What's been your favorite kind of like nude hike or naked adventure that you've gone on so far?
Hmm. Probably actually getting my wife to go with me to a nude resort. That's probably been the pinnacle achievement, was to get her to come with me.
How'd that go?
It involved some shots of tequila to loosen her up.
Gotcha.
Uh, she's as many women are. She is not she's not exactly favorable of her physique either. You
Hmm.
know, many women have that complex about it, and I understand it and I respect it. Um, but for my birthday one year, she said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to go to this place." And she goes, "Well, that looks like a nude resort." And I was like, "It is, and I think we should do it." So she said, "Okay, that's what you want to do for your birthday? We will do it." So we booked a room and we drove to the place, and we stopped at a grocery store before we made it to the resort, and we got some adult beverages, and we got some food to eat because at the time, none of the restaurants were open due to the pandemic.
Mm.
So the on-site restaurant that they had was closed. The bar was closed. You had to bring all your own stuff anyway, and that was fine. Um, so we stopped and got some beverages, and we got all checked into our room and everything. And she saw people just walking around naked, and so she kind of was like, "Okay, like I'm seeing it. I get it." And I was like, "Well, you ready to go chill by the pool for a little bit?" This was in August, so very warm here
Yeah,
in
pretty
August.
hot.
Very, very warm. So she's like, "All right," like we got all sunscreened up and we did the thing. We grabbed a towel, and she's like, "Do I need to bring like a cover up or anything?" And I was like, "Babe, we're at a nude resort.
Yep.
You don't have to wear anything that you don't want to wear. So
Yeah.
whatever comfort level you are at is totally okay. If
Mhm.
you feel better about wearing a cover up until we get to the pool, that's fine." So she did, and a couple of shots of tequila down the hatch, and we were on our making our way over to the pool, and that cover up didn't last very long because you could see there was a lot of other body shapes and body
Mhm.
types and people of various ages. And it did not take her long. If you ever met my wife, you would know this how true this is. But didn't take her long to make a new friend. And they immediately got into a conversation about all kinds of things, and she just completely forgot that she wasn't wearing any clothes at that particular time. She just didn't didn't really think about it. But
That's
that was a
awesome.
that was a really, really fun weekend. And it was important for me to um, just because we could share that experience together.
Mhm.
I wish we could share that experience a little bit more regularly. But we can't have we can't do a lot of nudity at home because
Yeah.
we do have a live-in elderly person with
Mm.
us, and yeah, kind of puts the kibosh on those kinds of
Gotcha.
things. But when that person is gone from our home for any number of days visiting other family members or something like that, then she kind of looks around in the backyard to see if anyone's
Yeah.
watching, and she'll kind of slide into the pool too. So at least she's open to doing that when the
Yeah.
opportunity presents itself. So I'm grateful for it.
No, that's awesome that she's willing to, do that with you and kind of open up slowly to it. Could you describe the experience, kind of what the differences are for someone that's never been to like a clothing optional or nude resort and being naked out on like public lands in the desert or the forest?
Yeah, your first time doing any of those things is a little scary. It feels weird. It feels like you shouldn't be doing it. But especially when you go to nude resorts, like that's the whole idea behind it is that you can do that. That's what it's for. Um, so really trying to just accept the fact that, you may not look like a chiseled model. There's not going to be anybody there that does, you know.
Mm.
We all have different body shapes and types and builds, and some people have tattoos, some people like to wear assorted other jewelry. Um, all of it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's there to just enjoy the opportunity to shed the clothing, and sun's out, buns out, as the
Yeah.
saying goes. Just go and enjoy it. Like give it a chance. It's not the swingers thing that a lot of people think resorts like that are full of. Are they present? Yes, they are, but no one is going to approach you and say, "Hey, I got an idea."
Yeah.
That doesn't it doesn't happen. In all the years I've been going to various nude resorts in various states that have never happened to me. So I say just give it a chance. You know, you could go by yourself. Maybe you got a friend that you're comfortable with, but just go and give it a shot. Go and give it a try. If it's not for you, then that's okay. But expect yourself to be a little bit nervous. That's okay. That's
Hmm.
understandable. You're doing something new. The first time anyone goes skydiving, they're probably nervous as hell. The
Yeah.
first time I drove a car on a public road, I was nervous as hell.
Yep.
So the first time that you do anything in your life is always going to be a little bit nerve-wracking, but you got to give it a shot. You got to give it a try, and it could grow on you if it's something that you end up enjoying.
I like that answer. I like that. It's so true because you never know.
Yeah.
So you talk about self acceptance. How is nudity and specifically kind of nude hiking, being naked out in nature, helped you with your self acceptance and overall love for yourself?
Well, as I previously stated, a particular birthday came about, and
Yep.
I realized just how dad bod I had gotten, and it actually, I stood naked in front of the mirror, and I had to like look at myself, like that's what I look like, and I wasn't entirely happy with how everything looked.
Hmm.
So it did inspire me to really focus a lot more on taking better physical care of myself, eating better things. I started going to the gym every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. I lost probably 30 pounds. I stopped drinking soda in
Mm.
2014. That was a big one. Um, so I lost a lot of weight. I I got myself into a physique that I really felt good about, but I still felt good about my person too.
Hmm.
So when I did go out and do those things, I felt better about how others might perceive me, and
Gotcha.
that boosted my self-esteem, knowing that I looked like I cared about myself. And you know like I said, it doesn't get better as you get older. It gets harder to keep yourself in good shape and in good health, and it becomes more of a challenge every single year.
Hmm.
So getting myself into that routine of going to the gym and doing 20 minutes of stretching. Just stretching, not even lifting any weights, running, anything like that. Just stretching.
Hmm.
Um, really made me physically feel a lot better. And when you physically feel good and you're putting good fuel into your body, it makes your mental game go way up too. So it's all correlated. All of it ties together.
Yep.
So being able to, I play ice hockey on Saturday mornings with a bunch of other 40 plus guys, and it's really fun. We're not competitive. We don't have penalties, and no one really keeps score. But the fact that all of us are able to just get together and even just still play at all, like that's the best part. That's the best part. It's a great workout. I
Hmm.
usually burn 500 calories in a game, and it's fun. So I try to keep myself really active as much as I can because it makes me feel good.
Hmm. That's awesome. And that's all really good advice for really anyone. Um, because it's so true. Because as you age, I'm going through it now. I'm
Yeah.
pulling like my lower back and my shoulder more, and it's like I had to go to someone to give me the tools to stretch and started doing yoga, kind of similarly. Because if you don't, you start to just wither away. You lose all your muscle tone, and it's a lot harder.
Yeah, you
Um,
get you get atrophied to
mm-hmm,
an extent. Um, I didn't set any records when I lift weights or anything, but all of it is for flexibility.
mm-hmm,
My wife and I have some really fantastic future plans that I want to make sure that we are able to carry out. And I don't want to get to a point where we can't pursue those goals or those dreams
Mm.
because one of us has a bum knee, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yep.
Uh, I don't want that to be the thing that limits us. Like,
Yeah.
want to be able to go and do the things and stay active. And we I don't know if you've ever seen blue zones in the world. There's 5 blue zones where
Mm-mm.
people are more likely to live to be 100 more than anywhere else in the world.
Oh, interesting.
And it's because one of them is Okinawa, Japan. And the reason that these people in this area tend to live to be 100 is because they stay active.
Mm.
They grow their own food and they eat their own food that they grow, and they're out there on their hands and knees, and they're
Yep.
bending down and they're tending to the garden, and they have something to keep them busy, and they're staying flexible, and they're carrying buckets of water or dirt, and they're just staying active, and they're
Mm-hmm.
eating good food.
Yeah.
So I want that to happen to us too.
It sounds like a solid plan, if you ask me. Just getting healthy and doing what you're doing. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
Um,
it doesn't get better.
yeah.
You gotta make it better.
No one's coming to save you. You have to do it
That's
yourself.
right. That's right.
Is there anything that you see in kind of the nudist hiker world or naturist world that y- you see it as like a common mistake people make when they get into this type of activity?
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake is thinking that you can just go to any piece of land anywhere and just do it and there's no consequences.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Um, Another one is that it's welcomed everywhere. I can assure you that it's not.
Yep.
Um, and that I think another misconception about all of this is that everyone has ill intent
Mm.
behind meetups. Like, you can
Mm-hmm.
kind of tell
Yeah.
who the people are that have specific intentions
Mm.
behind being the nice person they appear to be.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious to tell. Um, but also, there's a much larger percentage of this community that is wholesome and well intended and is very welcoming, is very friendly, and they will totally give you a beer out of their cooler. They'll throw you some sunscreen if you run out. It's a lot like any other widespread interest.
Mm-hmm.
There is uh, a very welcoming sense to the community when you find the right people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really great people. There's a particular resort that I don't live too far from that I have a membership at. And I don't really chit chat with a ton of people there, but when people do approach, like, they're always really nice. Like, I had a lady give me some random jewelry that she made. She's like, "I've been trying to get rid of this jewelry, and just take a couple of pieces." And I was like, "Okay, like, I don't need this jewelry," but
Nice.
she was really nice about it. And
Mm-hmm.
there's been a couple of times where, like, you could hear my sunscreen bottle, acting like a ketchup bottle, like it was
Yeah.
just way down at the bottom, and this guy behind me, kind of tapped me on the shoulder and he goes, "Here, I have 15 and I have 30 and I have, 50 if you want it." And I was like, "Oh, like, thanks. I appreciate that." I didn't ask,
Nice.
but he noticed and he offered, and I thought that was really cool. So,
That's really cool.
um, that this community is a lot more ingrained and a lot more well intended than I think people really realize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are all great points. I want to bounce back to the first point real quick about legality and land use. Um, I try and hike on BLM land or national forest land just because
Hmm.
they have the most lenient written law It doesn't specifically say no non-sexual nudity, so it kind of falls into that gray area. Um,
Yeah.
do you have a better way of explaining that?
Um, BLM land is probably my preference too. Um, BLM land is policed by the county sheriff. So any laws that you may break on BLM land are subject to, you know, the particular sheriff that you might deal with. So, the rules on nudity are not expressly defined,
Mm.
but if someone sees you and they are reasonably offended or have a reasonable um, warrant for being offended, then you can get in trouble for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think you really have to make an effort to offend somebody um,
Yeah.
in that kind of a case, you know. Um, yeah, it's state land is a little different too. State land is specifically covered by whatever the state law is.
Mm-hmm.
BLM can also do the same thing. They can say, well, the county has decided to follow state law on this, and so yeah, you just kind of have to be careful.
Yeah.
You can't, I've had people message me and they're like, "So where did you leave your clothes while you went hiking?" Like, no, they're with me. I didn't
Yeah.
just hang them in the tree
Yeah.
and just run away. Like,
Yeah.
that's not what happens here. Like, you can't do that. You have to have some kind of a cover up with you, whether it's a pair of loose fitting like mesh gym shorts that you can just
Mm-hmm.
throw on, or like you mentioned earlier, like a sarong. Like, I love sarongs; they're
Yeah.
great, very breathable, and very comfortable to wear. But yeah, you don't just throw your clothes into a tree and run away. Like,
No. No,
that's not how that
you're
works.
asking for trouble.
Yeah, very much
You
so.
you're gonna find an answer you don't like.
Yeah, for sure. You're gonna end up on a list.
Yeah, exactly. And look stupid.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we didn't speak about today that you want to bring up or that you would want to talk about before we kind of sign off?
No, I don't think so. I think you had some really good questions that dive a lot deeper into what it looks like on the surface. No
Hmm.
no pun intended.
Yeah. Well, right on.
It was
Andrew,
really fun.
yeah, it was. Thank you for this conversation. It was great getting to talk to you. I really like your journey and I like the way that you're representing non sexual nudity and naked hiking. And I love seeing your posts. So, um,
Awesome.
yeah,
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on and talking about it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
I really enjoyed this conversation with Andrew. I think what stood out to me most is how simple but powerful this journey can be, and just getting outside and letting go of the pressures and learning to accept yourself as you are. It doesn't have to be like this big extreme change, it can start with one small step, just like it did for him. If you got some value out of this episode, share it with someone who might need to hear it, or someone you've been wanting to have this conversation with. And as always, if you're out there exploring nude hiking for yourself, do it safely, be respectful, and represent this community well. Make sure you're following the show so you don't miss any future episodes, and if you want to connect, reach out on Instagram. Until next time, get naked, be free, and be kind. See ya.